What's going on, everybody? It's AG here. Notre Dame gets the win today over Georgia, 23-10, setting up an Orange Bowl matchup with Penn State, coming off a 31-14 win over Boise themselves. Both outstanding defenses here. I think this is a pretty good matchup here. Borderline 50-50 game. Early spread, it looks like Notre Dame is favored by 1.5. But let's go ahead and talk about Notre Dame first off. Coming in at 13-1 on the year, best wins regular season wise, probably Texas A&M, I would say, is their best win. So not just the most impressive resume there is. I mean, they had the loss to Northern Illinois, which is a bad loss. But up to this point, who have they beaten that's good? Louisville, that's a good win, solid win. Georgia Tech, that's an okay win, not bad. Navy, they were ranked at the time, but again, them and Army, I'm not really too impressed with those wins. USC, that's an okay win. But their path here in the playoff, they get the win over Indiana in the first round, 27-17, and then Georgia, without Carson Beck, they beat. Really good performance on defense and special teams from Notre Dame to get that win. Offensively, didn't do that much, but Riley Leonard did some things with his legs offensively, which is the one thing that has really stood out to me when watching him last year at Duke. I thought he was a really good dual threat quarterback, just couldn't stay healthy. That really showed through today with his athleticism, being able to run a little bit on Georgia. You wonder how different would that matchup have looked with Carson Beck? I don't know. We can't really speculate on that, if Georgia had their starting quarterback. But Notre Dame shut down Georgia's run game and really tried to make Stockton beat him, and he couldn't do it, even though he had a lot of yards. But defensively, really good job. As for Penn State, 13-2. Their only two losses are to Oregon and Ohio State, so not bad losses at all. They're losing to, the number one team in the country and then the hottest team in the country right now. Win-wise, I guess Illinois is probably their best win up to that point. But again, if your only losses are to Ohio State and Oregon by single digits, you're doing something right there. Playoff-wise, dominant win over SMU, 38-10. Then a win over Boise State, 31-14. Not the toughest playoff route, but Penn State's defense has looked outstanding so far, and that's why I think we've got a good matchup here. It's an old-school matchup here. You've got defense versus defense, run game versus run game. Both teams going to try to beat you. It's going to be a slow, grinded out. Going to be a completely different game from the other one, which is probably going to be a shootout. But that's why I'm intrigued by this game, to see which defense shows through, which offense makes less mistakes, which quarterback do you trust more? Because both teams really rely on their run game. Now, Love went out a little bit for Notre Dame. I don't know the injury status on him just yet. I hope he'll be okay for this matchup. But Penn State, though, from what I've seen, they are a lot more consistent as far as, again, their only losses are to Ohio State and Oregon, which are two of the best, if not the two best teams in the country. Then Notre Dame, you've got the loss to Northern Illinois. Not really the best wins, but again, Penn State didn't have the best ones either. So you're valuing, is A&M a better win than, let's say, Illinois? That's what we're looking at there. And I don't know, there's probably a washout there, but Penn State definitely has the better losses. But in the playoff, Notre Dame has beaten Georgia. Yes, they were out without Carson Beck, but still across the board, Georgia, super talented team compared to everybody else, Indiana, Boise, SMU. But with that being said, I think as good as Notre Dame has looked as of late, I'm going to have to lean Penn State. I think they're a little more consistent. I trust Drew Allar through the air a little more than Riley Leonard. And I know Drew Allar gets a lot of crap because he's kind of iffy sometimes, but Penn State has multiple running backs that I think can wear you down. I'm a little more confident in Penn State's defense, despite how good Notre Dame is in the trenches. And defensively, they're a heck of a ball club too. But I think Penn State has a little more talent across the board, so I'm going to lean Penn State early. So if you're a betting guy on the spread, Notre Dame favored by 1.5, go ahead and take Penn State. But who do you think wins this game and why? Let me know down in the comment section. Make sure to like this video and subscribe.